Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Matthew once again with Watty's channel. We are returning to the Series 3 review of the WWF LJN Wrestling Superstars poster review. We are looking at 17 wrestlers, and I'm not going to jump on camera today. I'm going to try and run through these posters relatively quickly. Being on the camera, I don't know how much storage space I have, so let's just dive right in. So, first guy we are looking at, guys, is Bobby the Brain Heenan. So when I kind of think of Bobby Heenan, I kind of think of the New York Yankees. You know, Bobby Heenan might be one of the most hated people on the planet, the Weasel, as he's most commonly referred to. But you gotta admit, the man has a habit of recruiting the top talent when it comes to wrestling. Whether it's Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect. I mean, you take your pick. This man has the cream of the crop when it comes to the number one contenders for any kind of championship. And when I think of your number one talkers, Bobby Heenan is definitely right up that list. When I think of commentators, Vince McMahon, Jerry the King Lawler, Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, those are my go-to guys. Of course, Jesse Ventura has always been on the list as well, but, those are like my four key guys always. Bobby Heenan, his poster is relatively simple. I mean, again, the background overall doesn't really change. With the simple suit, not too fancy, but it is something to add with the figure. And it's just a very simple, elegant, really beautiful poster to go with a really solid figure overall. Now, someone I really knew nothing about growing up, and again, didn't know about this person until I started collecting LJNs, is Bruno San Martino. One of the things I respect about wrestling during this man's heyday, and about this character in particular, is I believe this man held a title for about 2 decades, which in this day and age is absolutely unheard of. Nowadays, titles change so frequently. You could be a champion for a few months. You could be a champion for a matter of weeks, days, or even hours. To hold a championship title for a year, let alone several years, is just insane to think about that. And I absolutely love this stance that he's doing here. Kind of reminds me of what Ric Flair does with the Galoob figure. And it's reminiscent of his stance with the his actual LJN released figure. And it was brought to my attention that a man that wrestled in the 60s and 70s, that this was very common stances for wrestlers of that era. And I talked about real wrestling, singlets, headgear, floor to the mat type, mat to the floor type of wrestling. This is exactly the type of wrestler that I think of, or that I would gravitate. Real, true wrestling. And Bruno San Martino, he fits the mold of my ideal wrestler, so I'm glad he has a decent figure and a really solid poster to boot. Now, Captain Lou Albano, I don't know if I knew of this character prior to, or if I only know of him because of the whole Cyndi Lauper Girls Just Want to Have Fun music video. I remember growing up in Chicago, and the Kittyland commercials would come on, and that song would be blasting. So I think I had to have known who this man was, because obviously he's in the music video, and I think that's how I became maybe why he was synonymous with that music video, is because of his connection to wrestling. Big fella. I use him in Rumbles when I was getting a feel for the figures. He is a brute force, no doubt. I couldn't imagine using him as like a champion or anything because I wouldn't want to use him too much, but he does get a lot of use as an abuser essentially. Good figure, good poster. I did actually acquire a figure recently where he doesn't have the red outline. I got one of the variants where he just has the plain white lapel. So when I do my next review video, following up the Series 6, most recent Series 6 review video, I will show some of those variants, and that is one of them. Classy Freddy Blasty, another character I can't remember growing up watching. Another sequin jacket, very reminiscent of his action figure. Great figure, great pose. You know, this moniker is just ideal to his actual action figure. No real change there. I'm told that his I guess it's his Jakks Classic Superstars with like the red jackets is more reminiscent to what he actually wore ringside. Again, I'm kind of learning about this character from like mostly from other people and going back and like watching old videos and stuff more than actually growing up and having kind of familiarity with this character. But this is the Freddy Blasty Series 3 poster. Now, when we're looking at either loose figures or carded figures, thumb wrestlers, bendies, the posters, I want them all to stay in the same order. So they're basically all go off the same order as these loose figures. Right now, the posters are kind of out of order. So I'm going to have to pause for a few seconds here and there just to kind of see where I have them at. So next one, we have Corporal Kirchner, and some of these might still be in order, but in case they're not, I'll pause. So Kirchner, the Bulldogs, and then Jesse Ventura. And I'll step up here, try and give you guys a... And this is what I'm talking about, this little ledge right here. They kind of sit really tight in there, so it's kind of hard to sit there and kind of peel every single one of these picture frames off the wall. So I'm hoping that this works out really well. So Corporal Kirchner, because I was in the Army, you know, I really gravitate towards this character and this look. I had one of those jump boots in JROTC back in high school. In the Army, all we had was regular black boots, but man, these little jungle boots that we had, I really love those. Those things were so awesome. Again, had a pair of those that we got for like Raiders in JROTC, but you'd have to be like air assault or something like that for actual Army. I'm like, no. I'm not crazy enough to be jumping out of a perfectly good working helicopter. No, thank you. Corporal Kirchner has one of the best posters. I absolutely love this one. Incredible. Next one we're looking at is the British Bulldogs. I do not have the British Bulldogs on single card, but what I do have are the British Bulldogs on dual poster. And it is the only dual poster I do have. And if you could actually see the difference in size here between a single poster compared to a dual poster, I mean, it thing is huge. Put this one back. And the British Bulldogs. I've said it many times. Growing up, Davey Boy Smith, that's to me is the only British Bulldog I knew of. I'd never heard of Dynamite Kid, at least not that I can recall. You know, when I first heard of Dynamite Kid, that was a couple years ago when I first started collecting LJN. And, I mean, actually going back and actually watching these two wrestle together, actually super crazy impressed at just how well these two work together. I always thought that the Rockers were like the perfect tandem, but those guys are just such a solid tag team. And at some point, I probably will go into a little bit more detail about some of my favorite tag teams and what I love about their style of wrestling. Next up is Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah, I knew about Jesse Ventura as a wrestler. Yes, I knew of him as an announcer and everything, but I think I probably know him best, to be honest, as like, what was he, Minnesota governor or something like that. And when I look at this poster, it reminds me more of like Adrian Adonis's poster than anything else. Trying to find the right angle so that that light doesn't like really mess with the picture here. So that is Jesse Ventura. Next, we are looking at Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Again, trying to find the right angle so that it doesn't mess with the... This is... all right. So the one thing you'll notice about this poster compared to like the actual figure, he actually has like little hearts all over the inside of the megaphone, whereas with the original variant, it only has like one heart on the ends, right smack in the middle of the megaphone. Next one up is Randy Savage. And what I love most about this particular is the little insert of Macho Man and Elizabeth. And what does that say? Randy, Macho Man, well, just says their names. But come on. I mean, this has easily got to be one of the best posters, no doubt. Because when these were hung originally, I wasn't present, so they kind of were hung out of order. So next one we're looking at would be the Don Morocco. And I know it's kind of faded, but you could still make it out, so bear with me. And then Mean Gene Okerlund would be right next to him. And when I take these posters off the wall, I'm going to situate them right next to each other so they're all side by side as they're sitting right over here. Oddly enough, these here are actually sitting right next to each other. So Mr. Fuji would be the next one. So I actually think I am going to get all of these Series 3 posters all in one video, even though the quality isn't going to be the best. And then we've got next Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You know, if Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, if he actually had either the red pants or if he had like that removable robe as like an accessory, I don't know, even the pose, like even if that was his legitimate pose, I think I would have liked that even better than what they gave us with the actual figure. So that is an awesome poster. I really enjoy that. I don't know if I would put that poster on my top 10 favorite, but I think it could be a top 15 or top 20 favorite poster. That is an awesome one. And then we move on to the SD Joan. So again, pretty much every single poster I bought long before I ever purchased my first carded LJN. So I don't know if the SD Jones posters are any different from the yellow shirt to the red shirt figure. I'm assuming the poster is identical in both figures, so I only searched for one and I only got one. So for sake of argument, that is for both yellow shirt and red shirt. And that's SD Jones. Next up is Terry Funk, who is down this way. All right. Terry Funk may not have my favorite figure, but what he does have is one of my favorite posters. This thing is freaking awesome. I love this poster. Um, Actually, very reminiscent of one of the. Trying to find a good angle to get away from that light. Reminiscent of one of the Legends action figures where he's wearing this exact outfit, same exact look. Keep getting my finger in the camera. So that one is awesome. And the last one is right next to him, which is Tito Santana. So Tito Santana, the figure, is purple trunks. This doesn't really look purple. I mean, this is more, I mean, it could be purple, but it's more of a reddish color to me than purple. But when you look at the White Trunk Strike Force Tito Santana from Series 5, do they release... Well, nope, I take it back. I have seen a 2-pack or, tag team Strike Force. So I don't know if Tito Santana on single card, if he would have like white trunks, or if they would just re-release this one on the single pack. I'm assuming that they would have a whole new single white trunk one, but at least this right here we know is the Series 3 purple trunk Tito Santana poster. That is number 3 or Series 3 of the poster review. To be honest, folks, I don't know how well this is going to look. Sorry. I'm sure my hair is all messed up. Yeah. I try my best to keep the stuff on the shelf and make it a little bit easier on myself. But if this video ends up looking like crap, then I'm probably just going to have to do what I had been doing, take everything off the shelf and just line it back up over there. But we'll see how this works out. If it looks good or if it works okay, then we'll just keep it doing it the same way. And I'll just slide those down if I can. I kind of feel like I'm not going to be able to slide them down. I'm probably going to have to still wiggle my way out and take it off completely in order to slide it, but we'll see what happens. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the posters, and I'm gonna try not to wait so long to get the 4th series and 5th and 6th series out to you. Well, Series 4, probably another video like this. 5 and 6 I'll probably put together because I don't have that many from Series 6 to show. Probably two posters or so. So 5 and 6 will probably be put together. All right, that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you in the comments. Goodbye, everyone.